women were the gatherers. Well, who decided that? Who gave men their role and who gave women the role? Who made men the hunters and who made women the gatherers? What do you mean, who? Men were big and strong, so they went to fight. It wasn't a role, a sign. It was a natural reality. So Torah doesn't give us roles. Torah gives us insight into our capacities, into our virtues, into our strengths. And the more we can actualize what we have, naturally, the better. But artificial roles, you do this, you do that, there's none. So, let's take another look here. Celebrating that which is already good. Where does this apply? How about in raising children? It would be a very masculine thing to look at a child and say, this kid is going to have to be disciplined, he's going to have to be tutored, he's going to have to be coached, he's going to have to be disciplined, and hopefully someday he'll become a mensch. That's kind of masculine. But then, why are you willing to put so much effort into this? Why are you willing to put up with all the years that this kid is going to give you nothing but grief? If you don't see the goodness, the perfection, the lovability, if you don't see what is wonderful, and that doesn't inspire you, you're just going to abuse the kid. So without the feminine side, without the ability to look at the child once in a while and say, perfect. Perfect! Like a baby. You look at a newborn baby and you don't think, how much is this going to cost to put him through college? You don't think like that. You look at the baby and you say, perfect. And it's exciting and it's inspiring. So there's the feminine quality of celebrating what is good is so essential in raising a healthy child. And the same is true with every relationship. In Yiddishkeit, now we're seeing the power of what is already good is so much stronger than what needs to be fixed. So, for example, you come to a Jew who knows nothing about Judaism, and you say, you're doing everything wrong. You're sinning, you're breaking all the rules, you're going to go, where, and if you let me, I'll save you, I'll fix you, and I'll make a Jew out of you. Nobody's inspired. But when you come to a Jew and you say, hey, you're a Jew. Here's your tefillin. You're a Jew. Here's your seat at the Seder table. Much more powerful. Much more powerful. Not only because it's complimentary and polite, but because the truth of it is so obvious. More obvious than you got everything wrong, you're sinning, you're breaking the rules. It's not so obvious. Why? I'm a good person. So emphasizing the positive, not because you want to be polite, emphasizing the positive because the positive inspires you. You don't love your fellow Jew in order to help him. You love your fellow Jew because that inspires you. That's a very different story. Now, when we started talking about the effect. Do women fix things? Of course women fix things. But not by focusing on the damage and how to fix it, but by focusing on the part that is not damaged and how to preserve it. That fixes everything. Sometimes better than the other way. So like even in health, the masculine form of medicine is when it breaks, you'll fix it. Somebody has a symptom, somebody comes down with a disease, somebody breaks a bone, we'll fix it. It's not nearly as powerful as appreciating what health is, appreciating what life is, and celebrating. Without that, no amount of fixing is going to fix anything. So, the Rambam says that Mashiach is not going to perform miracles. And he emphasizes it very strongly. Don't you dare think that Mashiach is going to perform miracles. Why is that so important? What do you care if he performs miracles? A couple of miracles wouldn't hurt.
Of seeing.
Huh?
Because it's not about seeing, no? I don't know.
When Mashiach comes, the godliness in the world will not be a miracle. Because a miracle corrects what is wrong with nature. A miracle is supernatural because nature is not what it should be. So the miracle makes it what it should be. Then Mashiach hasn't come. The coming of Mashiach means the goodness in the world, what is correct with the world, will be so established you won't need miracles. So to think that Mashiach will come and he will do miracles, you're confused. You're confused. There is no need for a miracle when everything is as it should be. So the coming of Mashiach means that which is already good will be everything. Not Mashiach is going to come and fix problems. Mashiach is going to come and teach us how to celebrate a world that is already good. And that's why the Rebbe said many, many times, we call him Melech HaMashiach, because he's going to be the king. But his main role will be a teacher. The king solves problems. But Mashiach is primarily going to be a teacher. What does he have to teach us? A whole new way of inspiring ourselves when everything is good. Because today, we only get inspired by problems. Even about Mashiach, you know what most people say? You know, things are so bad, Mashiach is going to have to come. So what inspires us? Oh, things are bad. See, now I'm getting excited. Because when things are really, really bad, well, that is so egoistic. You know, that's so... So let's practice this a little bit more. What is already holy is much more exciting than what's broken or that needs fixing. What is already good about yourself and about your husband and about your children and about every Jew, that is so much more exciting than what is wrong and what is bad and what is... Don't be distracted. The worse it gets, the more we have to celebrate what is right.
So you're talking about tapping into our innate ability to be able to reveal or even
like hear, see what is good, see what is already there. So you talked about, getting distracted, right? I was wondering if you could maybe elaborate on what you think in this day and age is the main thing, some of the main things that would either distract or hinder a woman to be able to tap into this aspect of herself. Like that you've seen, and what would be the remedies for it?
Well, aside from all the misinformation about the difference between men and women, or the lack of difference, besides all the bad press that feminine qualities get, motherhood, being a wife, it's all bad. It doesn't get any respect, it doesn't get any compliments in the liberal press. So we got to ignore that and overcome that. But that's easy, really, once you think about it. The real challenge today, which is both for men and women, is God's way or my way. That is really the crisis of our generation. It's me or him. His way or my way. We get caught there. We get trapped. Why can't he do it my way? Why can't he give me what I'm asking for?
You're talking about husband and wife?
God. And of course, that trickles down to husband and wife, parents and children. Children don't understand. Why can't my mother do it my way? Because the mother is saying, I'm the mother, you're going to do it my way. This is the problem. The ability to focus on what is right should be able to take us out of the me. Because the me is not important. What's right is important.
The sense of entitlement. Like I'm entitled to.
Yes. We are drowning in entitlement. And we're starting to hate it.
And when we don't get what we're entitled,
We quit. Even children. If I can't get what I want, I quit. So it's not that we're not capable. It's that we don't see a reason to try hard or to do what's right, because we were told that we're entitled. So I'm waiting. Well, if you work hard. No. Don't change the message now. You told me I'm entitled and I deserve. Now you're telling me I have to go to work? So that ultimately is the existential crisis. Is my life meant for me or not? That's it. That's the whole story of today. The message is God created the world. God created us. It can't be about us. How can it be about me when I didn't create anything? So when children say, and it scares us terribly, because it is frightening, when children get a little depressed and a little oppositional, and they say, I didn't ask to be born. It's frightening. But you're upset that you were born? You're angry at me for giving birth to you?
I'm just trying to push a button.
Actually, what they're saying is so true. It's so true. We didn't ask to be born. Isn't that true? Nobody asked to be born. So what are we doing here? We used to put it in more philosophical terms. Why are we here? What is the purpose of life? Now we're getting down to the fundamentals. Not what is the purpose?
But the neshama has a purpose. So the neshama asked for to be here, no?
No.
For a mission, no?
No. So when a child says, I didn't ask to be born, instead of panicking, you say to the child, you are so smart. That is so true. We don't ask to be born. God decides that he needs us for a certain mission, and that's why we're born. You're right, we don't need this. He needs this. So the only need that we have is to find out what he is thinking. What do you need from me? What do I need? I didn't even need to be born. So instead of being focused on what I need, I realize I don't need anything. Don't create me and I'll never complain. So why am I here? So here's what it boils down to. Your life, it's your life. No one has a right to it, including you. Your life is not for you. Isn't that an amazing realization?
Anybody exactly, but it doesn't make any sense.
That's
You
right.
can't tell them straight to their face, your life is not for you. Let's say you're from another planet, I can't talk to you. You can't even...
Well, I think every woman almost knows that a little bit. You have kids and your life is not about you anymore.
Yeah, if you're a firm woman, you know that.
Even people that are from.
Even them, I don't think they really want to come to terms with that. They're not honest with themselves. They specifically say now is me time.
Yes.
It's like their project. It's like this is me, this is my project. It's
Exactly.
not like a whole. You see a big difference when you see. I'm not judging straight down the middle, like if you're religious or not, but if people are more in touch with this and believe, as you're saying, are able to accept that. Other people, on the contrary, when I see them in the park, it's like there's me, there's my project, Jim. We agree with each other. I have a few projects, maybe. You have a lot more. How you deal with so many projects, you might have.
That's part of the problem, that the press, the media, the language, the vocabulary is all selfish. It's all me. But people are not happy with that. They're trying so hard to be a healthy me, and it doesn't work. So where do you see it expressed? Very successful people who are trying to find some cause to support. Why? You're rich, you're famous, be happy. No, they need a cause. People who are miserable. I can't get my life together. I don't know what I'm... Exactly, it's not about you. We're all realizing it from different angles or different... When you have everything, you realize that, now what? What was this all about? If you have nothing that you want, then you realize this can't be about me because the me isn't getting anything. So whether you're highly successful or highly unsuccessful, you come to the same conclusion. It can't be about me. So now the wealthiest people in the world want to give away all their money. Why? Because it can't be about me. It's dawning on us. So when a child says, leave me alone, if you listen, the child is saying, will you stop focusing on me? Leave me out of this. Tell me what's right and I'll do it. Give me a value. Stop talking about me. So here's the message. My life is not for me. Just like my wealth, when you're the richest guy in the world, you have to come to the conclusion, my wealth is not for me. I can't possibly use that much money. So yes, it's mine, but it was not meant for me. My life is mine, but that doesn't mean that it was meant for me. I was given a life because I am needed, not because I need it.
So it's selfless. It's selfish. They're giving away their money so they could live.
No, they're giving away their money because there's got to be something more than me.
So who do you think has a harder job of letting go of the ego? Is it men or women?
Men.
And does this aggravate the woman, that the man has a harder time letting go of their ego?
Mhm. Because
So how do we not let it aggravate?
because men's ego are much more fragile. So they hang on to it more desperately.
So where's the balance of emotionally healthy children and not, I mean obviously that means not focusing on yourself, but then why is everybody so angry about the way the parents raise them without any emotion and like, you know, that's like the not everybody, but a lot of people.
Who's
We were
angry?
emotionally validated and we didn't like it, and so now we're doing it for our kids.
There are two ways in which the me is aggravated. When it's put down and when it's built up. Either way. When you put a child down, you're focusing too much on him. I'm a loser. Nobody likes me. I'm a loser. Nobody likes me. I'm miserable. I'm ugly. Too much attention on myself. But then again, the kid who walks on and says, I'm beautiful. I'm perfect. I'm the best. Same problem. So what is the solution? Help a child get past me. The good me, the bad me, the up me, the down me. Beyond me.
Practical, how do
So
you
what is
do
the
it?
best way to do that?
Right.
To make the child comfortable enough with himself that he can let it go. We've got to do that for ourselves too. If I'm uncomfortable, I can't let go. So, what is a healthy self? A healthy self is one that you can ignore.
No, but you can't ignore your kids, so then how do you?
No, your own self. Thing.
So a healthy child can ignore himself. Because whatever he is, he's fine.
How do you? How do you?
Yeah.
You treat him that way. Whatever you are is fine. But this is kosher and this is not. This is right and this is wrong. Not you are right or you are wrong.
Does it help, let's say, enrolling them in like helping programs like in the community, things like that, like, you know,
Well, here's a confusing thing
like,
when you think about it. Accept your child for what he is. True? A good statement? Accept your husband for what he is. Good, yes? But you must give your child a high self-image. Wait a minute. Now I'm confused. Isn't that a contradiction? Accept your child the way he is, but build up his self-esteem. If I can accept him the way he is, why does he have to build up his self-esteem?
exhausting. Exactly. I was just thinking, it's like exhausting.
But here's the real issue, where you're saying people can't accept it. If you come to a person and say, your life is not about you, you're telling him to kill himself. Right? It's not about you, you're not important. Okay, I'll kill myself. Because they don't know what the alternative is.
Right.
In fact, for them, there is no alternative. It's either me, my way, or what? The fact that God needs you, that piece is missing. But when it's not missing, that's great. That's great. He created me because he needs me. I don't need anything, so I'm available for what he needs. Works out perfectly. He's looking for a worker, and I'm unemployed. Perfect. So when the Eibishter calls, the tzaddik says, Hineni. You know what Hineni means? I'm unemployed. I'm available. Yeah, I'm not doing anything. So what do you need? But if you're busy being frum, then you're not available. So the Eibishter calls and you say, it's mincha time now, I'll talk to you later. Bittul Torah. Hineni means, it's not about me. Is that good news or bad news? If there is no God, then it's bad news. Then it's just nihilism. Life has no meaning, forget about it. Well, no. Life has a lot of meaning. It just doesn't happen to be you. You are not the meaning of life. But does life have a meaning? It has an infinite divine meaning. I think that's good news.
We just need everyone to get with the program, because otherwise it's like swimming upstream, you know?
So where do you start? Do you start by telling people that their life is not for them? And then they'll ask, okay, so what is it for? And then you'll tell them that there's a creator who has a plan, who needs you. Or do you start the other way? Eibishter has a plan. He needs you for his plan. And since you're pretty miserable as you are, how would you like to do something meaningful? Which is the more feminine approach. The more feminine approach is, there's a God and he needs you and you're perfect for the job. It's a lot more feminine than saying, you're miserable, it's not about you. So the message should be what is, not what isn't. What is Jewish? Stop telling me what's not. What is a mother? Don't tell me what's not.
Talking about that, what is an Akeres Habayis? Like we have this discussion group on Thursdays with different women, and we get together, we have brunch, and the other day someone said like, it's so exhausting to be an Akeres Habayis, and I was like, I don't know if, it should be exhausting, I don't know. We were discussing actually, and I would like to know what is the perspective on it.
Exhaustion is a very good thing.
Is it?
If you're exhausted about the right things. If you know you put in a good day's work and you're exhausted, you are so healthy. And you fall asleep immediately because and then you sleep well, everything's great. But if you're exhausted out of frustration, that's bad. So good exhaustion is a very good thing. That's why this woman, many years ago, became frum. And I called her after a couple of years. I said, how is everything? She said, pretty much the same. I had problems before, I have problems now. Same thing. It's not the same thing. Before, you had problems that no one should ever have. You got yourself into trouble, you were messing around with dangerous stuff, you were being reckless, now you're having the problems that everyone wishes they had. Don't compare. So yes, it's exhausting, but it's such a good exhaustion.